I want to become the man that I know I already am. This is a statement that came up earlier this week in a session of mine. And maybe this feels familiar to you, where you feel that ambition inside of you to become the best version of you. You feel that there's so much potential there, but you can't seem to access it. You can't seem to find a way to unleash that potential that you know is already there. And in this video, I'll go deeper into the untold truth when it comes to becoming the best version of you. Because this is also highlighting one of the biggest mistakes that people make that prevents them from even accessing this potential in the first place. So let's start with the session where this statement came up. Because I had a session with an incredible guy and he was sharing his vision with me. All the things that he was building and creating, the retreats that he was organizing, the man that he was becoming for his future wife, the family that he wants to start. And he wanted to focus on the man that he was becoming. How do I become that man that I know I'm capable of being? Because he felt that something is holding him back, but he didn't know what it was. He couldn't pinpoint what this was. And when we explored all of this, he also mentioned this statement as in, I want to become the man that I know I already am. And when he said the statement, I laughed at him and I said, that's a funny contradiction that you just mentioned. And initially he looked confused at me as in, okay, what do you mean? But this sentence was a doorway to an insane breakthrough for him in that session. So the reason why this is a contradicting statement is when you want to become something, it's out there in the future. It also means that you are currently not, and you want to become that version that's out there. It's a process of becoming. But when you say at the same time that I know I already am, it means that you already are. So there is no process of becoming. So what is the place that you're moving towards? Is it towards that future self, that I'm becoming this version, or is it inside of you? Because becoming something insinuates that you are not right now, but at the same time, you feel that this version is already inside of you. And it's the same for you. You feel that this potential is already inside of you, but still you're moving into the future as in, I'm going to become this version to live in alignment with my potential. But this is immediately highlighting one of the biggest mistakes that people make when it comes to becoming the best version of you. So when I was highlighting this for him, he could already see the contradicting thing that was happening. And you could see also the flaw and the lie in the statement. So when we dove deeper into this, he could also see the gap that he was creating from where he was right now and where the best version of him was. So every single time he didn't do the routines that he planned to do properly, that's when he said, like, I'm not the best version of myself. Every single time he was not as productive as he wanted to be. Every single time when he smoked weed, even though he wanted to quit, I'm not this best version of me. Every single time he felt the things that he shouldn't be feeling. Maybe he felt lazy or he felt a lack of conviction and commitment to what he's building. Well, my best version of myself, he's not feeling these things. So every single time he felt something, every single time he did something or didn't do something, what he has or didn't have, every single time something like this happened, he used this as a judgment for not being that best version of himself. And this is the lie. This is the lie that he was believing, because the gap that he was experiencing was created in his mind. And I really want to slow this down for you to get this, because he was experiencing a gap, but his mind was creating the gap. So him thinking there was a gap is actually the thing that was creating the gap. Because what if there was no gap? So this is also what I collapsed for him. What if there is no gap? And when I created a different possibility for him, as in, just imagine that you already are the best version of you. There is no process of becoming right now. You already are the best version of you. What becomes available to you? And this is when I could just see all his stories and all these lies in his mind just crumble, and he started to laugh. He started to smile. And he just couldn't stop laughing, because this was the moment he tapped into the greatness that was already within him. And that's what is available for you as well. Because the reason why we're stuck often is because we are stuck in these stories and we are stuck in this conditioning. So when you look at the biggest mistake that people make when it comes to becoming the best version of themselves, it's using the word becoming. Because it is not a process of becoming. It is a process of unbecoming. This is what it's really about, because you feel the potential is inside of you. You feel that the man you're capable of being, it's inside of you. You feel the potential here. So why do you need to become something outside of you? And so when you are creating that gap, that's you creating that distance from the potential that's already there, from the greatness that's already there. And when I'm talking about unbecoming, I know this might sound like a weird statement. What I mean is that at your core, at your essence, you are already confident. You are freedom. You are peace. You are infinite possibilities. This is who you are at your essence. But all the stories, the limiting beliefs, the conditioning that you're taking with you from the past, the judgments that you have towards yourself, these are preventing you from accessing the potential that's there. These are preventing you from tapping into that greatness that is within you. So this is what you need to dissolve. That's why it's a process of unbecoming to reveal the greatness that's already there inside of you. It's not a place to get to. It's a place that you surrender into. That's why I call coaching in itself also a revealing process. It's not that you become who you think you should become. It's remembering who you already are. Because currently you are believing lies. And I hope, by the way, that my voice is going to keep up in this video because I feel like it's almost gone. But this is what you need to get to. What kind of stories do you have about yourself? Do you think you're not good enough? Do you think you're not worthy? Do you think you don't belong? Maybe you already had a failed business in your life and now you think you're a failure, that you never will become successful. What kind of things are you carrying with you from the past that are preventing you from accessing that greatness that's there? What are you carrying with you when it comes to the judgments that you have about yourself? About who you are? Because there are all these statements that you believe about yourself that are not true. These are the lies that you have to dissolve, which is unbecoming. You need to let go of the identity who you think you are. You need to let go of who you believe you are to really have that deepest version of you come out. Because when you look at the identity, so let's go a bit deeper. Identity is simply made up. Identity is created in your mind. There's a you beyond that identity. That's the deeper essence of you. Because when you look at identity, I am, and you can fill in the blanks. It is a made-up story. If I look at myself, I am Joy. Is this true? I am Joy? No, my name is Joy. Joy is the name that has been given to me at birth. It is not who I am. I could say I am a coach. It's also not true. Am I a coach? Or am I practicing the profession of coaching and I'm choosing to label myself as a coach? But this is not who I am at my core. So when you identify with all of these lies, that's the moment you stay stuck as well. Because yes, a created story about your identity, it could be serving you, but it could also be limiting you. Because what kind of stories do you believe about yourself that are not true, that are actually limiting you right now in your life? Like I said, do you believe that you're not good enough? What kind of conditioning are you taking with you from your past that are limiting you and preventing you from accessing the potential? So the way that I see this, and that's why when you look at hustle culture, for example, you see people creating from all this anger and all this, let me prove people wrong. So they're just hustling, they're grinding, they're working their ass off. And yes, this is all very important. Like there are very important qualities when it comes to this field, this part of the spectrum, as in how do you even create things in the physical world? So you're developing all of this discipline, but this is not who you are. This is not who you are at your core. Because if you are constantly proving people wrong and you want to prove people wrong, what does that say about the beliefs that you have about yourself right now? Then you believe that you're not good enough because you have to prove that you're, for example, good enough. You have to prove that you're worthy, and you only need to prove something when you believe that you are not. So if you already believe at your core that you are good enough, you don't have to prove anything to anyone. And that's why you see this hustle culture type of lifestyle is very empty. It's hollow. Because what they're doing is, and this is just a different metaphor, you're putting glitter on a pile of shit. This is what the process of becoming looks like. So let me build all of this money, because when I have this money, then I am this. When I have the discipline, then I'm this. When I have the physique, then I'm this. So your identity is tied into what you have and don't have. And this is, again, this is the lie. And this is where you have to catch yourself as well. Like, why aren't you the best version of yourself right now? What story do you tell yourself? Well, I need to have this money first. I need to have more discipline first. I need to stop drinking alcohol first. I need to stop playing video games first. I need to have this first. And then I am this. But these two, you need to separate the two. Because you are not these things. And like I said, you're putting glitter on a pile of shit. When you start building all of the toys, all of the money, the women, the six-pack, all of these characteristics as in the discipline, the grind, the hustle, at the core, it's still a pile of shit. You still have the story and the belief that you're not good enough. So it doesn't matter what you build in life. It doesn't matter what you have and don't have. At the end of the day, it's still a pile of shit, but now with glitter on it. So what you need to do is you need to remove the shit first. And then the truest version of you will be revealed. And then you can put the glitter on top of it with all the things that you're building and creating. And that's the process of unbecoming. It's removing the shit. But that means, and these are the steps very quickly on how you could do this, that means that you need to become aware first. What are the judgments that I have about myself? What are the stories that are running me? Especially about my identity. Why am I not the best version of me right now? If I would say that statement to you, you already are the best version of you. You can think like, oh yeah, I know. But what is that voice that is saying like, this is complete BS? I want to listen to that voice because that voice has all the judgments of why you are not accessing your potential right now. These are the judgments that you need to look at. And when you have the judgments in front of you, that's when step 2 is questioning the hell out of them. So I need to have 10K a month and then I am this version. Then I'm the best version of myself. Okay, why? How do you know? Have you ever earned 10K a month? So you don't even know this in the first place. But what if you earn 9.9K a month? Does that mean that you're not the best version of you? And then you will finally earn 10K a month. So now you are the best version. But the next month you go back to 9.9K and now you're not the best version anymore. Like, how does this work? You can see how weird this sounds if I put it like this. Just like with the routine that he used. So if you do your routines perfectly, now you are the best version of you. But is your best version of you, is he perfect? Like, no. He is not defined by what he's doing and not doing. He's not defined by his circumstances. He is defined by who he is being in his circumstances. Your best version of you is not perfect. This is not human. As a human being, we are perfectly imperfect, all of us. But how does he respond to the imperfections? How does he respond when he falls back into old patterns and he starts smoking weed? How does he respond to not following through on his routines? How does he respond when he's not feeling like it? This is where your best version shows up, not in what you're supposed to feel. So this is where you're distancing your best version of you with everything that is around you. That's what you want to be doing. That's how you access the potential that's inside of you, because nothing outside of you will define you anymore. Not your past, not your potential future, what you have or don't have, what you're doing or not doing, what other people are saying. None of that matters anymore. Because you already are. And from that place, you start to build things. Because when you are the best version of you, that doesn't mean that you automatically have all the discipline in the world, that you automatically have the sales skills, the marketing skills, the coding skills, whatever skills you want to practice. It doesn't mean that you automatically have these things, that you automatically have all the money in the world. But it's the essence that is creating all of this. It's the place that you're creating from. That's what we are referring to. So when you feel I'm not the best version of me, what stories are holding you back? It's not something outside of you. It's not a place that you get to. It's not a place of becoming. It's a process of unbecoming. And the best version of you, just imagine when you already are the best version of you right now, how much more would you create? If you already feel the freedom that you want to feel, if you already feel the confidence and the infinite possibilities, how much more would you create in this world? How much more fun is life going to be when you are creating from that place? That's why I always focus on the highest points of leverage in my coaching. It is not the strategies. People are selling you habits and strategies that you need to be doing, but it's about who are you being in this world. It's all these stories and limiting beliefs that are the most important things to focus on, because everything else will automatically fall into place when you remove these judgments and the stories and you break these limitations and the prisons that are inside of you. Because when you are creating from a place of I'm not good enough, so let me create all this money to be good enough. This is the reason why people that create all the success are still unfulfilled. Because these two are not linked with each other. They think when I'm at this place out there, I will finally feel safe. I will finally feel good enough. I will finally feel worthy. But this is a lie. That's the rat race that people are stuck in, constantly creating more, thinking it will fulfill them. But this won't fulfill you because you're just creating a bigger separation within yourself, which is the gap that people explain. This is the gap that people experience. And to close the gap is to collapse the gap, thinking there is a gap in the first place. So this is, I get very excited about this. So this is what the process of unbecoming looks like. And I would also highly recommend to do this together with a coach, because this is a very difficult process to do by yourself. If you want to do this by yourself, what you, for example, could do is set big goals for yourself. When you set big goals for yourself, your limitations are immediately highlighted. That's the beautiful thing about setting big goals and bold goals. So when you have these limitations highlighted, now they're in your awareness, now you can question them. Question them, see the lie in them. And when you are experiencing them as a lie, when you are experiencing that this is not true, that's the moment you can let go of them. And what is actually true? That's the switch that you want to be making. If this is not the truth, what is actually the truth? And if you feel like you can't let go, that means that a part of you is holding on with its dear life, which is usually your ego. And that's why I said, sometimes it's better to do this with a coach that is familiar with navigating these type of topics, because it's very difficult to navigate this by yourself, because your ego wants to guide you into all kinds of directions so you don't have to have that hard confrontation with yourself. So yeah, I wanted to make this video because it was so present after that session. It's such an exciting topic, and this is what I do in my coaching. It's a process of unbecoming and dissolving all the lies and prisons and stories where you become free. Freedom is not outside of there. Freedom is already inside of you. But you just have to have highlighted the blind spots that you couldn't see before. Because when you can see what you can see, that's when freedom is created. And that's the process that you need to, and a journey that you need to go on. So that's that. I'm curious to hear your perspective when it comes to this whole topic, and I'll see you in the next video.